Welcome to Two Gents, where two seasoned gents take on the hard truths of life, success, and responsibility. In a world where the rules don't bend for us, these gents believe in doing the work, owning the struggle, and inspiring others to take action. So, pull up a chair.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents podcast. I'm your host, Ron Spikes. I'm on the air with Pat.
Ron, I
can't hear you. He says you can't hear me. I can't hear you. I can see mine's working on my end. I don't know why you can't hear me on his end. I'm gonna try to do something on this end. Just try to see if there's something going on. But I can hear myself talking. I can see it going out through the mic. I can do my test sound. I just can't hear him. Let me see. That's the only way I can get it out. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on again. As we continue to go through the show, I just want to say, Pastor, I couldn't hear you that time when you came in. As we go live, hey, how y'all doing? I know y'all had a great Thanksgiving. It was good to hear from y'all. I got to add Pastor to the stage. Y'all be patient with us. We're trying to get this sound worked out. Pastor, can you hear me? I see you shaking your head, but I got audience out there listening to me. And if anybody can hear me out there, go in the comments. Tell me just a minute.
Hey, listeners are saying you sound like a robot.
Can you hear me? I see you, Sean. Can you hear me?
Everybody say you sound like a robot.
Not clear? Can you understand? You can't understand you, Ron. Okay. Can't hear me, Sean. Can't hear me. So
nobody can understand.
Pastor Riggins, if you're out there, just start talking because I can't get my sound right. I can't get my audio right. So y'all gonna have to bear with me.
Okay.
For just a minute as I go down and I try to figure this thing out.
Ron, stop talking, Ron. I take over the show.
I see you talking, Pastor. Just go ahead with it.
Stop talking. You sound like a robot.
Can you hear
We're so glad
Pastor Riggins, Sean.
Tonight.
Okay, go, Pastor Riggins. You're good.
No, you stop talking, Ron.
Go.
Yes, you stop talking. And we're so glad to have you on Two Gents in the Mic tonight. Once we have Ron is trying to get the sound right on his side, even though he's producing the show. Waiting on BG Bearing Glass to get here. This is Pastor A.F. Riggins. And what we're talking about tonight is the Democrats need to make sure we're just not trying to coast to a victory, even though all of the signs are pointing to that we have the momentum and the upper hand on the Republicans due to all of the things that's been going on with Donald Trump, with what happened in the elections that happened a couple of weeks ago, also with Epstein's files, and also looking at Pete Hegseth. And so with all that in mind, I can't hear you, Ron. We can't hear you, brother. You may have to, I don't know if you need to leave the show and come back if it will hurt us if you did, or stop us from having a show if you left and came back. But something in your sound system is not working right tonight. What I want to cover tonight while Ron is getting it together is that Pete Hegseth, under the direction of Donald Trump, they're waging illegal war, I call it war crimes, in the Caribbean, Ocean, in the Gulf of Mexico and other places out there, saying that they are trying to fight the drug cartels. Innocent fishermen are being killed. At least 84 people have been killed so far. A lot of these people are just fishermen out there. It's all about them trying to have a narrative that the drug lords are taking over and they need to try to destroy all these legal immigrants and drug lords. And meanwhile, Donald Trump pardoned one of the biggest drug lords that had a sentence. Because to him, it's all about money. To him, it's all about switching bait. And if you notice lately, his health is not well. Today, he was sitting in the cabinet meeting and fell asleep in front of everybody. Meanwhile, he stayed up all night and did 150 tweets, like just going crazy. Where are we at right now is what everybody's saying. Where are we headed to? Well, let's talk about another deal that's going on. Another issue we're having is that Putin is Putin is um, wanting to take everything he can out of Ukraine. Donald Trump, who's been a Russian asset since 1980s, is kowtowing to Putin, but acting like that he's trying to end a war. Now, two things out of it. He wants to give Putin everything he wants. Also, after giving Putin everything he wants, he's thinking that if he ends that war, he'll get a Nobel Peace Prize. Trying to have it both ways. And so, as Ron is getting his sound system together, and Baron Glass ought to be coming on any minute, he might be in the back studio, and Ron will be trying to bring him on.
Hey, Pastor, how are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're loud and clear now, Ron. Thank you very much.
Woo.
I can't be two gents and a mic. I'm just the mic. I try to do three things at one time, brother.
Well, we gonna liven that up just a little bit. We had a little technical difficulty starting out, but look what we got on the stage, Pastor.
I know.
Hey, BG, how you doing, man?
What's going on, gents?
What's up?
You just got on in time
BG.
for the you went. Pastor Riggins had the show by himself. It wasn't nothing I could do.
Man, I was rambling, scrambling, and rumbling and tumbling. I thought I was about to take a scripture text and preach in a minute.
All right.
We were just listening in, Pastor, because you could have took it. You could have took it in any direction that you wanted to go.
I covered Pete Hegseth a little bit. I covered Putin, and I covered the Trump tweeting all night and sleeping all day. but the main thing I know we need to focus on that all this stuff is happening. We still got to make sure that the momentum of the Democrats stay strong.
Yeah, and that's
I let the two gents talk. I don't talk for a little while. Let y'all talk.
Go ahead, Glass.
I'm listening, man.
Oh, you can't be listening. You part of the two gents. You got a mic. You got part of the show. Come on now.
I'm listening, man. I've been running out.
But anyway, I just want to tell y'all we really appreciate that. It is a lot going on. It sounds like they're trying to steal the message away. But we need to stay focused on affordable health care. We need to stay focused there. We need to keep our focus. We need to keep that, as Pastor said, we need to put the what is it, Pastor? Gas
on the gas and don't let up.
Yeah, because we need to stay on that because there's too many distractions out there. They was talking about these two guys that got shot on the ship tonight. They got shot after they had attacked the ship, and they trying to make a big issue of that. They doing everything that they can to distract from what's really important to the American people. And if
that is important though. Important to the fact that they're waging an illegal war. We need to come on every side we can to hem Trump in. If you have PS out there, he's never been a military man. How you running the whole military and he out there like gangsters? I understand what you're saying. We need affordable health care, make sure we get what we need for our people. But any and everything we can to put pressure on Trump's administration, and the Republicans are jumping in on it. Let them jump in on it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
We can walk with you, bubblegum. Do more than one thing at one time.
I agree with you, Pastor. But here's the thing: you got a big army out there, and I want to put focus on that because you got a big army out there, and they putting the focus out. They putting the focus on that, but in real time, when you're in battle, when you're in war, most countries besides the U.S. don't take no prisoners. They don't want to take care of them. They don't want to put the money that it takes to take care of them. So when you really fighting a war and your enemy's on the other side, it's
here's what I'm saying.
Okay.
An African American admiral said no, he wasn't doing it, and he resigned. What I'm saying is, we don't go to war unless Congress declares war. Congress has not declared war. This is Trump and them taking the liberty of saying that they're fighting drug cartels, but waging an illegal war. First thing. Second thing is, after waging the legal war, in the middle of the illegal war, they're actually killing innocent people. So it's not a real war. It's them saying, listen, we're out here trying to get rid of all the drug laws. Look at all these illegal immigrants coming close to the United States. That is the distraction. In other words, They're creating a distraction with that. Still, us focusing on what Trump and them are doing. That's what he's trying to do. Is create a distraction. And if we hold him accountable for what he's doing, that comes back to our side.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. I just think that we need to call war, and playing games. I agree with that part of it. I just disagree with how they're going about doing it. Now, should they put pressure on Trump anywhere they can, however they can, whatever makes sense? You know, Sean Byron, you sitting back. Can you see that?
No. I mean, I'm actually listening. I think my rebuttal on that is, regardless, there's rules of war, and if you don't follow those rules, then you should be held accountable. And that's the problem with this man. He feels like there are no rules for him, no rules apply to him. Supreme Court basically told him that a president can do whatever it is that he wants, so he's stretching that. The only people that can rein him back in right now is the Supreme Court. They're gonna have to stop some of this, otherwise, this time next year, if the Congress is not changed over to from where it's at to where it need to be, it's over with.
Yes, sir. See what Sean says?
Go ahead.
Sean is asking a question about the man that was pardoned. There's a drug lord that was pardoned by Trump while he's killing innocent fishermen out there and calling them drug lords.
In Honduras,
is it true? The mother of the dealer that was pardoned by Trump donated to Trump's campaign, and that's what the record is. That's what people are saying.
Yeah, and that's
$1 million. $1 million to Trump's campaign.
And that's the part about politics that's not fair to nobody. When money gets involved, you basically, the whole concept of what you went to war, of what you went to Congress for, is gone. Congress or the Senate, it don't matter. The money is where the focus goes to. And Trump, they should have Trump on everything that he does, everything that he's done while he was in Congress. They should have him on. They should hold him accountable for. And Pastor, I'm glad you brought that up, because that takes me to something else. The shooting of those two innocent people that were just in uniform and they got shot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that person that shot him was come to find out he was a CIA operative during that war crisis that they was going through. He was a CIA agent during that time, and he traveled from across the country and came all the way over there and shot those two people. And the thing that gets me is that he had 5 kids back where he came from. But here's the problem. Now, I'm gonna draw this scenario, and Sean, maybe you can identify with this. We have a lot of people that's out there that participated during war. They did a lot of unscrupulous things during war, and they supported the American soldiers going here, going there, and doing those things that's in the dark. And then eventually, America gives them amnesty and brings them to the United States because they did such a good job when they was fighting against their own people that they bring them to the States. Well, here's the problem. You bring those people to the States after they did all that damage. They went out there and just tore apart their whole countryside. And they did all that damage out there. I add Byron back to the stage when we get through. They did all that damage, but then you bring them back, and then you don't offer them a job. You don't offer them a position. You don't take care of them when they get here. They basically become just an average citizen. So that's just a time bomb. Mary, I see you out there. That's just a time bomb just waiting to tick off, because it's going to happen eventually. And the only reason why I bring that up is because I know a friend of mine, and it goes back, and it shows you how America treats people when they're in wartime versus any other time. And you might say, how does this all tie back to politics? But it's relevant because a neighbor of mine was a Vietnamese pilot. They trained him in Texas. They took him from Vietnam, brought him to Texas, and they trained him on how to fly airplanes in Vietnam. He went back to Vietnam. He stayed over there. He got captured by the Vietnamese over there, and they kept him in prison over the amount of time that he should have been in war. They tortured him. They did everything else that they could to him because he went against his own people. And when he went against his own people, guess what they did? They brought him back to the States. You think he get any recognition for it?
Yeah, he got plaques that he could show me and all that, but they don't try to help those people. And so this particular guy, this CIA agent that killed those two people, same thing happened to him. You bring him back and you give him immunity. But what's the thing that he did when he was over there?
But,
Nothing
but,
but kill people.
but let's go back to add to your story.
Attacked in the front yard.
Huh?
Let me make your story even more poignant. What happened?
Okay.
First of all, Trump and them gave this guy asylum in April. Trump's administration gave him asylum. He came over here in 2021 when Biden and them got out of Afghanistan. Okay.
Mhm.
Trump gave him asylum. But this did not have to happen, not on his part. This did not have to happen because on Trump's part. Let's back up. Why was the National Guard on the streets of Washington, D.C.?
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? See, remember what Trump did? These people come out of West Virginia. They took people out of Texas and sent them to Chicago. Took people out of Florida and sent them to California. He was finding every African-American based city, basically, and saying these cities are crime-ridden. I'm sending the National Guard out here to keep these streets clean. And so here are these people, National Guard, standing around not doing anything while it's being fought in the courts. He's being sued in the courts. And so there are those people standing out there, not even supposed to be. They're supposed to be at home with their people. To stand on the streets of Washington, D.C. because Trump put them out there to make it look like Washington, D.C. is crime-ridden and we need the National Guard out there. The guy who comes out of Afghanistan in 2021, when the war is over with, lives in Seattle, Washington, gets asylum for Trump's administration in April. He's troubled, like you said, for all the stuff he's done. Comes out there and come down to Washington, D.C. and kill those two people. And then, well, kill one and the other one is just moving his fingers and stuff and toes right now. The problem of it is they shouldn't even be on the streets of Washington, D.C. from the beginning. Because Trump shouldn't even have them out there. That was not a flood. That was not a hurricane. That was not a natural disaster. That's what you use the National Guard for. Or you send them to war in another country. He have them on the streets of our city, like our cities are like we're at war, and that's why the people got killed.
Yeah. You know, really, they shouldn't have been out there. He shouldn't have deployed the National Guard in any city, but he's making the case that he's doing something good, basically just changing the narrative. And you're right. It initially started with Trump, and we're going to have to stick with that point, Pastor. We're going to have to stick with that point. I don't want us this is something that I really don't want us to do. I don't want us to get so, and I did it. I was accused of doing it because I changed the narrative from where you went to. But I think that one of the things that we can't assume victory, just assume victory because everything seems to be going okay now. We're a long way out from the midterm election. So we need to stay tuned up. We need to put the pedal to the gas, and whatever issues that we can get, I hope that we can keep them going long enough that we don't have that short-term memory going for the election cycle, because it is a ways out from where we at right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
BJ, what say you?
Go ahead, Pastor.
What say you, BJ?
Well, Riggins, I'm sitting here thinking, man, you know, I don't mince words. I used to watch Stephen Colbert after he took over David Letterman. Watch him every night. You know why I stopped watching him? Why? Because every time I look at him every night, he was talking about Trump. You got to realize that at some point, you know, talking about him turns off, you know, people who may, you know, want to be involved. This is just something to think about. May, you know, want to get involved because there are a lot of more issues that are affecting people that, you know, we can talk about that can actually, you know, impact, you know, them on their day-to-day lives. I'm not saying that it necessarily have to be this show or whatever, but that may be something to, you know, consider. I mean, the guy's going to do what he want to do. It's nothing that we can do, you know, even talking about it until the Supreme Court or we energize people to get out to go vote to get rid of what's going on. It's, you know, it's going to be a topic every night, and the vast majority of people, even that supported him, they drain out on him. It's time to stop it. And you're stopping by, removing the sources that's there now. Of course, all of this, what we're talking about, is important. So I'm not negating from that. Again, it's just something to consider, for future reference.
Yes, sir.
Let me touch on the point that Mary made out there. They didn't fly the flag when the young lady died. Now, Mary, you make a good point, and here's the other part to that, Pastor. Think about this. Didn't they just do a memorial for a person that was totally against Black Americans and totally against our society, and people voted on it and everything else? And you mean to tell me a young lady dies on the streets and you can't fly a flag to recognize her? Fly the flag as half staff to recognize her? I mean, is she just? I mean, she's American.
20-year-old military woman. 20-year-old military
And you
woman.
can't fly a flag at half mast to represent her.
Yeah.
And he would. I don't get it, Pastor. Maybe I don't want you to come in. I don't want you to.
If I go with it, I'm gonna go against what Baron Glass was just saying. Not saying I'm negatively, but saying it factually. It goes back to one person. Who ordered the flags? Who orders the flags to be flown half staff? There's one person that does it. The President of the United States, who happens to be Trump. He ordered the flags on half staff of Charlie Kirk, who had nothing to do with anything about the betterment of America, period.
But Riggins, he had all to do with what this man stands for.
Yes.
Which is why no matter what he does, as long as he's the person that's out there doing what they feel like all these other presidents should have been doing, which is talking about this race, attacking all of these things that they stand for, he's going to continue to do the same thing.
You're right. So now the young woman dies, defending her country, doing her job, which she shouldn't have been there anyway, but he put her out there. He's like, oh, poo-poo. He went and had a party that night. They showed him have a party that night.
So our country. Actually, our president is totally. He might as well not exist, because from what I understand, when he having cabinet meetings, he falling asleep. He can't pay attention long enough in the cabinet meeting to stay awake. And they show him time and time again, but they don't. But here's the deal. This is what I don't understand, and I heard it today. I don't know why mainstream media don't stick on that point. If you can't stay asleep during a cabinet meeting, and the cabinet meeting is to bring them up to date on everything that's going on in the world, and you can't keep your eyes open, how and I almost said it, but how are you watching the country for the betterment of the people that's out there? Explain that to me. Somebody gonna have to help me on that one.
Well, here's the deal. The media not covering. Even when he does something negative, they even try to tell it in a positive way. They're all worried about him suing, like he sued CBS. He sued CBS over them giving Kamala Harris a good interview. He's suing this, he's suing that. You want to pull funds from that. FCC, do this, do that, whatever. They're scared of it. I would never be scared. I'm not ever scared of him. I'm not ever scared of him. Now, what I was tentatively concerned about when my employer was scared of him, my employer was scared of him and said that we couldn't talk about the Charlie Kirk thing. That's my livelihood. My employer was scared of him, but I wasn't. If you tell me straight up and down, if I could talk to him face to face like to any man, tell him about himself, never have to use any profanity and make him feel like who he really is. But the problem of it is, people scared of him based on the position that he holds behind that seal of the President of the United States, and he's going to put the FBI on you and the CIA. You see, they're trying to bring new charges against James Comey. The judge threw that out. They try to come with new charges. So he's going around like a dictator, and like Baron Glass says, if we, the people of the United States, it's now time for every able-bodied citizen that can vote to come to aid of their country. If we can't change this thing in November 2026, we have a modern day or we have a 21st century Hitler on our hands.
Mm-hmm.
And even after that changes, Pastor, we need to have people that's in place. We can't have the same people that's out there spreading the same stuff that they did before, going on name recognition, taking money from the funds of everybody else. If you ain't out there to help our people, vote them out. Get them out of there. If you can't see results from them, the other thing is, I'm glad you brought that up, Pastor, because I got to, this is just gonna irk me till I get it out. So you're gonna take a man over a soldier that signed her name to fight for her country. You're gonna take a man over a soldier that signed her name to fight for our country, and you're gonna give him more respect than you are that soldier. Even though we're in peacetime, you're giving him more respect than that soldier. His killer got more media time than this soldier. I don't. Maybe I'm lost. I don't understand the American media system or the presidency or the executive office or whatever. But anytime when we had soldiers that was killed when I was overseas, they did get some type of recognition.
Yeah, Ron, but you got to get over the normal. There's no normal with this man.
No.
Whatever you see is what you got to expect. I mean, he's like Reagan said. You know, we the people. That's the only option. That's the only option.
Well, he the people, and everybody else, Glass, because and this is not what I first brought this show about, but we need to point it out. That young lady lost her life. She probably was just standing there. It could have been my daughter, Glass' daughter, anybody else that's out there, Pastor Reagan's child or whatever. It could have been anybody's child. But for what Mary pointed out, about the flag not flying half staff for her, I haven't heard any governor. I haven't heard it in any other media other than right here about that girl dying.
I seen it on the Democratic, the Democratic pages on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of those pages put it out there, but no mainstream media complained about it.
But remember, Ron, whose job is to distort the message and divide the people? Mainstream media.
Yeah, and they do a good job of it, because if this is not out there, and Sean, maybe you can help me out. Maybe you've seen it somewhere. But how come the flags are not a half mast? We got a long time to go to the midterms, but that's one of the questions that we should be asking everybody. How come the flag's not a half mast? We had a soldier that was killed doing her duty. Why are the flags not a half mast? And we got another person.
What say is that across the seas, where we all involve all this stuff, the soldiers die every day. We're not doing it for every soldier. That's what they're gonna say. But the reason why this is very important, that it should be happening, because of the limelight that he put these National Guard in, of trying to be on American soil to protect these cities, and because it was done the way it was done. It wasn't an act of war. She didn't die in an act of war. She died in an act of terrorism. So she should have a flag flown half mast. You see what I'm saying? Our soldiers are fighting there in Afghanistan or Iraq, and 2 or 3 soldiers die every day, or maybe 10 soldiers die. They're not going to do that because they went out there fighting the war. This woman right here was on duty, mind her own business, just like a police officer would be in the streets, and they come and shoot a police officer. So it should have, and she was doing it for the federal government. They should have flown the flags half mast. That makes sense.
Let me tie this all up for you in a bow, Pastor, because you answered the main question in the beginning when you said that the National Guard shouldn't have been on the streets, because if they wouldn't have been on the streets, this young lady would be alive today. So I guess if they fly the flag at half mast, it's an admission of guilt.
Yes.
So they don't really want to fly the flag at half mast because it's an admission of guilt on their part that the young lady shouldn't have been on the street.
Hey,
right.
In uniform.
Right.
Ron, Sean comment must not be showing because he just texted me. He said,
I haven't seen Sean's comments. I seen his earlier comments.
Yeah, he said that the flag is probably not flying at half staff because it doesn't move the political needle for them.
And that goes back to what Pastor Riggins was saying. She shouldn't have been there in the first place, and that's just holding them accountable for her death if it flies at half mast. But that's still not fair to her family. That's
So
still not fair.
let me ask you this, Riggins. If she wasn't supposed to be there, couldn't she have done what the admiral did, which was refuse to carry out the plan?
Yeah, but she was in court martial.
Not at her rank.
Right now, her rank, she's been court martial. See, that admiral, when that admiral refused to do what he had to do, he then knew that
He
if
had
he
to
wanted to
resign.
stay there, he's going to be court martial, so he resigned.
Right, but even at the hands of court martial, if it's proven to be illegal, I mean that's a choice, an option, right?
That's right.
But,
I mean, I'm just asking.
But Ron, I agree with everything you're saying. But at 20 years old, that's what they got them out there for. They're very impressionable. They're trying to, they're trying to start their life. They're in the military, hope they get the GI Bill. They didn't want to go to college. And now I'm in the National Guard. She might have even been like a school teacher, or might have been something back at home where she worked at maybe in healthcare, because she's in the National Guard. They pull your unit out. You go out there and they say, go stand on the streets of Washington, D.C. And she says, okay, I got to do this, and make me do it. But somebody like you and I who are radical, probably why we're not in the military.
Oh, I was.
Okay, so Pastor, let me pose this question: If you or Ron was in the military now and they activated the National Guard, what would you do?
It ain't nothing I can do, but it ain't nothing you can do but go with whatever they say your orders are.
If I don't believe,
you can't refuse orders.
I don't see. That's why I'm not in it. Because if I'm in it and I don't believe it, I'm not doing it.
Well, then you wouldn't last in the military.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because
I'm not in it.
You orders.
So Ron, what you're saying is that anybody that's in the military, if they disagree with illegal orders, they're supposed to follow that?
If they disagree, they got a right to disagree with it. But if they disagree with it, I guarantee you their chain of command is going to put them in jail, going to take them out of commission, and then they're going to resolve it another way. But I'm just telling you, it's totally different than being a civilian. Because when you're in the military, you have a chain of command that you follow. Now your chain of command, if your captain tells you to do something, if he tells you to go kill another soldier,
he froze.
You don't have to do that. You can refute that. But if it's something within your chain of command, like he tell you to go down there and get those diesel cans and pour diesel on trash all day, and you refuse to do it, yeah, you can get in trouble behind that.
But Ron, that brings us to what you're talking about. The victory, don't assume victory. What's this guy? Mark Kelly, right?
Mm-hmm.
He pushing the gas on it. He putting the gas on it. Mark Kelly, who fought in Iraq, right? Mm-hmm. Mark Kelly, who is an astronaut. Mark Kelly is one of the 6 people who said to the military, do not follow illegal orders. Trump them said, oh, we're going to court-martial you. We're going to make you come back and court-martial you. He made a whole press conference yesterday and said, come get me. Because while I was doing this, you were doing that. While you was claiming about 9/11 was fake, I was out there fighting.
I mean,
while you was doing such and such, I was counting the bodies of my people came out the astronaut. You know what? He telling Trump, you fake, I'm real. And I'm telling these people, do not follow legal orders. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, that's how you stop I can't say the word right now. When that I know what it means.
What terrorist?
My tongue tied. AUTHORIAN. Dictatorship.
Authoritarian.
Right? You're right. That's how you stop it.
Okay.
You stop it by saying, listen, Trump, you can say all day long that we're gonna make these people do, but you stand up to it. So he has the platform to do it. That's where it starts at, when people saying, listen, we're not gonna follow legal orders.
Hey, Ron, I think Sean has got a comment. If you don't mind, put the number, because Sean was in the Marine. And I mean, because what I'm getting is, so what I'm hearing is that just because you're in one of these branches, if they tell you to do something illegal, you just supposed to do it illegal because of this, that. I ain't buying that.
I'm just gonna tell you, you never been there, but I'm gonna tell you, it's a whole different story when you're on the other side of that coin because that's how your paycheck come in. But I will say this, Pastor Riggins brought up a good point about this young female, and I don't want that to go. I don't want that to go without notice. This is a person that volunteered, National Guard, that was out there that basically said, I need to do something because where I'm at,
Motion detected in the front yard.
where I'm at, I'm not surviving with what's going on. I'm not able to take care of my family. But I volunteered to do this in order to help myself have additional funds coming in. And most of the time, when you're in the National Guard, that's what you're doing. You volunteer when the opportunity comes up to make additional money. You can do it because it'll still come up. Byron, I got it on a time clock, so I'm gonna put it back up. But most of the time, when they do that, they volunteer in their time to do that extra duty, so they can get a full paycheck. When they go those 2 weeks, that 2 day or whatever, 3 day a month, they're not getting a full paycheck for that whole month. They get it when they do this, when they do that time, like you're saying.
But even when they join the National Guard, I guess my question is are they volunteering to uphold the Constitution? Are they volunteering to uphold illegal orders knowingly?
Let me just say, the Constitution, when the Constitution comes into play, it's after somebody gave you an order to go do something.
Ron, let me say something, Ron.
I wish the military person would call in. Anybody in the military that served in the military, please call in.
Yes,
Ron, let me say something, Ron. What Barron is saying is this. We've had very little incidents of commanding officers that we know of and military leadership that has told us to commit crimes or illegal orders over the years. This is the first president of the United States that we know of that's pressuring the military to do illegal stuff. Now, we might have had people at war and in the fog of war, in the middle of war, in a battle where a general told somebody to do something that we found out later was not right or was illegal. And guess what? You see the movies about that in which they court-martial people.
But notice where they came, based on what you just say, based on what you just got through saying, notice where that came from. You say generals.
You're right.
In charge.
Right.
You say privates and PFCs or anything like that at the bottom.
But now we have
a whole different story when you
But Ron, let me finish. But now we have not a general in the action of an actual battle, but we have a sitting president of the executive of the United States who's over the military, the commander-in-chief. Commander-in-chief. And his
I can't see you, Byron.
Secretary of Defense, our Secretary of War, who's setting the whole illegal precept from the beginning. That's
Ron,
what Mark Kelly and them are talking about.
Okay, I'm just want to read a comment because people trying to comment, and I don't know if it's coming through or they're trying to call, but he said, I couldn't type everything out online, but this administration has no respect for men and women in the military. They're considered pawns. Look at the way Hegseth spoke to the top brass on the national television and the fact that the tour of duty for the National Guard has been lessened in order not to pay them benefits. That's from a listener that's out there.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So, Ron, so even though what you're saying is right about what your experience is, this administration not living by that code. The whole thing is, the whole concept is we just use the military.
Here's the deal, Pastor, and I'm gonna break this down because you and Byron never served in the military. If you don't have a chain of command in place when you're in the military, the whole thing is chaotic. You have to follow a chain of command. That's the reason why they issue commands from the top and it goes all the way down to the bottom. It follows a chain of command. Now I'm gonna tell you something that you just brought. Another thing that you brought up, Hegseth. He should have never been what he is right now.
That's right, but you see what I'm saying.
But the real reason why I say that is because you got generals that's been out there for years, that's got more experience than he does, that he's over right now, And he's showing them I wasn't nothing but a major when I was in there. But now y'all need to come unto me and obey my rules. And he never had the power or authority to do anything. At the highest he would have been as a major was probably like a battalion, not even a battalion commander. He would have been an assistant to the battalion commander, but he would never had any decision on make on what happens in the everyday life of a soldier and how we go about protecting this country.
Run. What'd you say? Chain of command, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're saying what I'm saying. We have to follow chain of command, and the commander in chief is Donald Trump. That's the problem. That's the chain of command.
Wait, Pastor.
He's the commander in chief.
I'm glad you said that because you know who the commander in chief is. I don't care if you're a Marine, Air Force, or any one of them. You know who the highest command, who's in the top of your chain of command?
Donald Trump, the president of the United States.
Thank you.
Sir.
I'm just telling you.
I know my history.
Sean, if you disagree, Sean, please call in or do something. I'm gonna put the number up.
The commander in chief. That's why. Let me
Sean, please call in.
Situation room, right? Situation room, right?
So Ricky.
Osama bin Laden walking on the roof. Someone bin Laden walking on the roof. Walking on the roof. Barack Obama never served in the military, but he's commander in chief. He said, "Go get him." The president of the United States is the head of the army. It's the head of all military, all of them. And you got people looked at in the Constitution.
But my question again is this: if you're a teacher at the school, your chain of command is your principal.
Yes, sir.
If your principal tell you to do something illegal, what are you gonna do?
Don't do it.
That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Our problem with the commander in chief is Donald Trump. That's why we have a problem right now. Donald Trump is a felon, and he's 34 felon, and he's commander-in-chief of the United States Army. That's why we have a problem.
Right. I don't know.
That's why I get so upset.
I don't know if Sean is trying to call in, so just kind of check. But Sean, if you or Tyron want to call in, because I'm trying to get an understanding, because I got a best friend of mine.
John was out here too.
Yeah, I got a best friend of mine that was in the National Guard. And I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you.
And because you got corrupt commander in chief, it ain't nothing that you can do about it.
Commander in chief is Donald Trump. It's not Headset. He's the Secretary of War or Secretary of Defense. His commander in chief. Go look up. Go ahead, Google it right now. Go to AI. Go to GPT chat. Go to everything. Who is the top brass of all military of the United States? Is the President of the United States.
Yes, you ain't got no disagreement with me there.
But that's why we have a problem.
But what I'm asking is that you're supposed to follow illegal orders regardless.
No, sir.
If you determine that's a legal order and you follow it, it's on you. But if you determine that's a legal order and you follow it, it's on you. So either way in the military, you're gonna get burned. Either way.
That's now I will say this, Baron. What Ron's saying is the problem we have. Because they're used to following orders from the top down, and now you got somebody doing the legal orders. They between a rock and a hard place. But here's
that's not
resign.
But Rick, that's exactly the admiral. He didn't follow the orders.
Right.
Well, he has the option to resign. As an enlisted member, you don't have the option to resign. Either you get kicked out or you follow the order.
So getting kicked out is worse than following a legal order?
It's up to you. You make the choice. But if that's your livelihood, what you gonna do?
But know what I would do, though, Ron? If I was enlisted,
break this down a little bit.
I'll let them disarm and discharge me, and then I'll sue. I'll sue till I win. Because at some point,
you got somebody calling in. Just a minute. Y'all go ahead.
I hope that's
hello. Sean, can you hear me? Sean, if you can hear me, I'm pushing. Sean, are you there? Sean, I'm trying to get him. I know I got him.
We had him before one day.
Yeah, he's still on. He should be on right now.
Something ain't right there. We got to get that worked out.
Hey, Sean, can you hear me? I got him on speaker.
Tyron, yeah, Tyron, talk to us.
Go ahead and talk. I got you on speakerphone. You good?
Okay, Ron, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Can y'all hear?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay. I think I have my volume turned up too loud on the podcast. But yeah, 3rd Battalion, 4th Marine, 6th Marine Division. Now to answer your question, yeah, there is some pressure not to follow a lawful order or any order. But I have to agree with Barron. Anything unlawful? No. As a matter of fact, I didn't see my CO or anybody else that I served under giving me an unlawful order. And the problem I see right now with this administration is that they're not even referring to the top brass. You know, you just don't make that decision on your own. You have a body of generals that you're speaking, you know, that you take advice from, and from that, that's when you make your decision. But you don't solely make it on your own opinion or what you think.
It's an illegal order.
Right.
Exactly, and that's what I see this administration doing. Like you said, XF has no experience. Nobody in this administration has any experience to go out and make that decision upon their own to go bomb this group of people or to deploy the National Guard over here or wherever. It's just nonsense. All this is I mean, and trust me, and Trump didn't think of this crap overnight. He's an idiot. He does not have the capability to think that far outside the box. He has somebody else. He's a puppet. Somebody else is pulling his strings. You know, everything right now is being orchestrated, and it's all for Trump to launch his ultimate plan of declaring martial law. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Tom.
Before I'm kind of under the weather, but I wanted to call in because it seemed like a little heated subject that I needed to speak about.
Yeah, we appreciate you calling in. I'm glad it's another military man out there, but I like what you say, because a lot of times when the decisions are made, it's made by more than one general, and it seems like the civilians go to the military and ask for advice, but in this case, it's like this. Donald Trump ain't going to nobody asking for advice. He basically telling the military what to do, and when he does that, it doesn't look like it could seem like it's illegal order. But when it comes down to chain of command, it's not an illegal order coming from the chain of command. You just have to make a decision at the bottom. What either you're gonna follow it or you're not. And
it
and
is illegal order because it comes from Trump
I don't mean
illegally.
to cut you off, but you got to keep in mind now. You know, Trump. I can't even think of the right term, but Trump can make these hairball decisions, and no harm will come to him. He's immune.
Mm-hmm.
He's immune.
Mm-hmm.
But me, being you know, of a lesser grade or a follower, I'm not immune for my actions. I can't say, "Oh, I'm just following a lawful order."
Mm-hmm.
I was just following orders and expect this walk away clean. I'm still held accountable. So,
Right.
I mean, it's you know, you're pretty much damn if you do, damn if you don't. So if I decide not to do it, I could be court-martialed. If I decided to follow through with it, I could still be prosecuted. So it's a double-edged sword. And I guess that's up to the individual to decide which route he wants to take, or he or she would like to take.
And I'm gonna add to that what you're saying. You know, as you get more time in the military and you get toward retirement, and that order comes down, and you have to pass it on to soldiers or whatever. You know, it's a lot that's involved in that, because that general resigned. That whoever that was that resigned, that admiral, you know, he had to make a decision on his family, and officers have the opportunity to resign. Well, enlisted members don't have the opportunity to resign when orders come down. They either you damned if you do, if you damned if you don't. Like you say, it's two totally different militaries out there.
Agree.
Pastor, you got
Ron,
anything you want to ask Sean while I got him on the
yeah,
line?
I'm gonna make a statement. I like what he was saying. Here's the problem. Like he said, you're supposed to convene a bunch of generals.
Tyrone, I'm sorry. I'm bad with names. I'm not bad with faces. I'm sorry. I apologize. Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you.
Right, Tyrone. Right. You supposed, like he said, we're supposed to convene generals together. Trump don't want to convene generals. He's trying to do it like he's like a mob boss. He called Hegseth in and say, "Go do this. Now go get the troops to do it." And that's how they're operating. They're not operating any military code, any type of standard operating procedures, anything. And then let me tell you the second part of that. When they put the pressure on Hegseth, you know what Hegseth is saying? I didn't even watch the second strike on the boat. I went and did something else. That's that commander that did that. They're already passing the buck down to the next man. See what I'm saying? He knows what he's doing.
Right. And that just goes to speak about what we're talking about. That stuff rolls downhill. And Donald Trump, he gonna let it roll to Hegseth. Hegseth gonna let it roll to the next person. But Hegseth should have never been in the position that he's in because he don't have the experience. Tyrone, I don't know if anybody can go out there and Google this, but after we got off our show, go see what the qualifications was for Hegseth, whatever his name is, position was before Tyrone got off the telephone. But go see what the qualifications are. You had to go to general. You had to go to the general school. You had to go through all those other schools to get to be a general. Hegseth ain't went to none of them.
But here's what happened, though, Ron. This is when politics come in. The Republicans held the Senate. They confirmed him.
Yeah.
They gave Trump what he wanted. They confirmed him. It's almost like in other words, let me tell you something what would happen. If you, what's your highest rank?
I was E4 when I was in the military.
All right. And if you was a friend of Trump, and Trump wanted you to be the head of the guy, they're gonna confirm you. Just like the guy, FBI guy.
I don't have no
Patel, what's his name? Patel, Cash Patel, and nothing. He ain't done nothing to be FBI. But Trump wanted him. He's loyal. He's in the back pocket. Republicans gave him what he wanted.
But Pastor, even
I know what you're saying. Qualifications. Trump don't give him no qualifications. That's why he turned around and saying, listen, he said now nurses, physician assistants, teachers, all this stuff, none of them are professionals no more. Why? Because he's trying to demean everybody not to be worth anything because he don't have anything. That's the whole concept. He said, whoever's loyal to him is what matters. Not whoever's qualified.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna tell you, Mary said it best. Pray for our military. Pray for our military. Every time y'all go down on y'all knees, pray for our military because there's people out there that's in a regime that they should never be in. They should never been in this position. We should have went out and voted. As Byron said, we should have went out and voted in numbers. That's the reason why this midterm is so important right this moment. What we're talking about, we wouldn't even have this discussion if people would have went out and voted. It's these kind of things. We got an opportunity that's coming up right now, that's coming up at the midterms. It may seem like it's a long way away, but we need to be focused on that right now. This is one of the reasons why we should be focused on the midterm elections. Am I right, Pastor? I might not know what I'm talking about.
No, sir, you're right. Everything we're going through right now is all a precursor. Like Tyrone said, he want to have martial law. If Trump wins, if the Republicans keep the House and the Senate, next thing you're going to know, between November and December, by Christmas next year, he going to declare martial law, and he's going to try to hold the country up under his rule as long as he can without a 2028 election. If he loses, like Steve Bannon say, if he loses and they get rolled in 2028, a lot of them going to jail.
I'm going to use two words that Byron Glass used. It's over. It ain't no coming back. It ain't no apologize. It ain't no, I didn't like the person in the office. I didn't like what they stood for. I didn't like what they did. They said something about Sally Sue 10 years ago, and I didn't like that. I don't care if she convicted everybody in the state. If they went to jail, they went to jail. They did something wrong. I don't care about all that. If you don't get your Pastor, I'm sorry, but if you don't get your out the vote,
You're gonna get your donkey out the vote. You're gonna get your donkey out the vote. That's what you're trying to say.
you better get out and vote and vote. You should be holding your forms. We should be holding our forms right in front of our face right now. I'm ready to vote. I'm ready to vote. I'm ready to vote. When is the vote? When is the vote? Because if you don't, and if you listen, and I'm gonna say this too, if you listen to other media and they don't say get out and vote, you listening to the wrong media. You listening to the wrong source. Because all that other stuff that we're talking about don't amount to a hill of beans if we don't get out and vote. Mm-hmm. If you're not planning on voting and you're not hearing that in your media channels, I don't care. You can go listen to all the rest of that stuff that's on the news. You can go listen to Urban View all day. But if the words that coming out of their mouth is not, we're getting prepared for midterm elections. Where are you voting? Have you found out who you voting for? It's elections going on right now. You need to get involved in the elections that's going on right now in your area. It's some elections going on. I heard that something going on in Tennessee where a Democrat is running against a Republican.
Yes, sir.
And in Tennessee, they never had that seat. But you need to listen to somebody that's trying to tell you something. Somebody that's trying to acknowledge you and go forward with that. Because if you're not, you might as well turn that dial. I'm sorry, I had to say it, but Byron, it's time out for all that playing. I'm tired of Pookie and them and all the rest of them. They can go down the street and stick up the corner convenience store and think that that's going to change their life. It's only going to change their life for one bill cycle, which is probably about a month, because their bills ain't going to be paid. Pastor, I know you're looking up something, so go ahead and come on in.
I'm trying to see, did the Democrat win in Tennessee? I think the election was tonight.
It was tonight.
I'm going to find out if they won, because Trump won that district by 22 points. And now that Democrat was supposed to win, which would be another indication that is swinging our way. But like you said,
it's time out.
The GOP person projected to win.
Yeah, it's time out.
The GOP person still won.
They still projected to win.
The GOP, yeah. But
so that should show.
They gave us a scare, though. They gave us a scare.
Every vote counts. Every vote counts.
They gave us a scare.
Every vote counts. And I think Byron Glass had this young lady on, Melanie Salisbury, earlier on Black Vote Matters. We need to get the vote, whatever it's going to take. See, most of these other stations, and Byron, I got to say it because I got to get it off my chest, and you gave me the permission to say whatever I want to say. But most of these other stations out there, they got them little things going around their screen up here that's asking you to donate dollars. Oh, yeah, I got this. And at the end of their podcast, they got somebody else donating money on that too. They want to put together something, but let me tell you something. If you don't put together a bus or a van or a car or a bicycle to get people out to vote this midterm cycle, you're just wasting your time. I don't care about y'all talking about people with no necks and all the rest of that on the Breakfast Club and who knows more about politics and all the rest of that. I don't care. I don't care. The first words out of y'all mouth should be, are you voting in the midterms?
Well, Ron, they better get right to vote, because if you don't have the right identification, it's useless.
Right, yeah. You got to get the right. You got to get the driver's license that's verified. Mm-hmm. They're doing all kind of stuff, man, to stop us from voting.
Yeah, they just think that they're gonna tell us what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and then they're gonna cheat us out of the election, as Pastor say. I don't put nothing past them. But I will tell you this, the more of us that have voting cards or have the right ID and get out and vote, they can't take it away from you. If the numbers are there, they can't take it away from you.
They'll make it hard for them to cheat.
Yeah, it would make it hard because you remember that Chris, I don't know if y'all seen this Chris Rock think it was Chris Rock. I'm not for sure which one of them it was, but anything to stop people from voting. Hey D, how you doing? But they say that he was gonna win the election, and it was one of those shows where they told him he was gonna win the election.
Head
You
of
should
State. It's a
see,
movie called Head of State. Chris Rock.
yeah, and all them people was running to the polls, running to the polls. But let me tell you something. We should be running to the polls right now. Hold on, somebody else is calling. Hello, hello.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I got you live. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, this is Sean.
Come on, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
I just wanted to call in and offer just a different perspective. It may not be much different, but just my perspective on what you guys were talking about before on following orders. So I agree. Actually, Ron, I agree with what you're saying. Because if you're early in the military, whether it be Air Force, whatever branch it is, you're new. You're very green. You already know you have to obey orders, especially in the Marine Corps. You just obey orders without question. This is what you do. You don't. They train us to just do the order, obey the order. Don't question it because life is a life or death situation. If you're in a battlefield, you don't ask the question. Go 10 feet to your right. Why? You just maybe kill somebody in your platoon, right? Or in your squad. So that's just the way they train them. So that probably is more common in the Marine Corps than other branches. But if you're green and you're young, you don't even know what orders are illegal a lot of times. You're intimidated by anyone who outranks you. So you're going to follow orders. And especially if you, for example, if you're in the National Guard or any other branch and you're part-time and then they call you up and then you're getting paid probably more now because you're active duty again and you're getting paid on your civilian job, you're getting paid on your full-time or your military job, you're going to just try and draw a paycheck. I'm sure that's not for everyone, but I'm sure that's probably true for most, right? And now you get all these benefits that you didn't have before, and you're not full-time this or that, but you're getting paid on both sides. So I understand where you're coming from, Ron. And when you're young and you're green, you don't even know the questions to ask to know if you're breaking a rule or if it's a legal order, because you're going to trust that your corporal, sergeant, staff sergeant, whoever, if it came down the chain of command to you, that it must be okay. Because that's the way they train us to think. I'm not saying it's right, but that's the way they train us to think. And so we may make bad choices, and to your point, Ron, have to deal with that after the fact. When we go to court, in court-martial because we did something wrong. And then they determine who's at fault. Is it the person who's your chain of command, or is it your fault, right? That's when they decide to make those decisions. But in the heat of the moment, most times we follow orders. Most times we do, especially if you're green, which is most of them, and you're probably under sergeant or corporal in rank. I just want to offer that opinion. Perspective, I should say.
No, I fully understand. That's why I was trying to explain to our listeners that, when you're at the bottom, stuff they pour into like a bucket. They pour it in and fill it up. We're at the bottom. Only thing we can do is just stand there. And as you say, go 10 foot to the left or 10 foot to the right. You're going to follow that order. They indoctrinate you from day one when you come in the military in basic training. Most people drop out from basic training because they can't follow orders. They can't listen
to
followers. Yeah, they can't
they
listen.
They want thinkers, they want followers.
Yeah.
You need to be a follower before you can be a thinker. Yeah. That's absolutely true. Yeah, I just want to give that different perspective because I understand what Tyrone was saying, and I agree with that as well, especially when you get higher up in the ranks. And there are probably different types of people in the military. There are some who just follow, and those are the good soldiers, the good Marines. And then there are those who think and question, which should probably be officers. So then there's those as well. And I agree with that too. So I think there are probably two different types of people in the military. And we got to just think that the people on the ground are probably not the thinkers, they're probably just the doers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the people who set the rules are the people who are way up top. We don't know what they're talking about. And we assume when we hear the order that it's valid. And it probably isn't. But we assume it is. Because we were trained to think If it came from this guy, trust it and just do it, especially the Marine Corps. Anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Sean, we appreciate you calling in, and I'm glad you had a perspective that most people could understand, because it's hard to explain to somebody that's never been in the military how the following orders go, and when you're at the bottom, you really at the bottom. You're at the bottom.
You're at the bottom, yeah.
So
Ron, I got a course for you and Sean. Then, if the military is this bad, which is what I'm hearing, why would you recommend any kid to go there?
Sean left off the telephone.
But here's what he's saying. Why would you recommend people to go there? Now, let me say something, Baron. I would recommend people go there for the discipline and the order in their life, but that was under normal times. Now that we're in abnormal times, the problem of it is the system is right. You follow orders. The problem of it is who's at the top is wrong.
But Riggins, is the system right when somebody's sitting here saying that they are taught to think, they are taught to be indoctrinated? What's the difference between that and a cult?
It's really no difference, Byron, because when you come out of basic training, by the time you come out of basic training, you are actually in the mind of a cult. You can go to any unit if you make it through basic training, and you'll basically survive because you know the rules, follow orders.
Okay. But when they get back out,
you're right. But here's what it does in Pastor Reed. If you came from an environment that didn't have no structure, and you came from an environment that didn't give you a paycheck, if you was coming from an environment that you didn't have a meal to look forward to, we used to call it 3 hots in a cot. They give you 3 hot meals in a cot every single day, and you're gonna eat them. And so if you're coming from an environment where you're not getting that, I would advise anybody to go in the military.
But again, here's my question. The jailhouse offered 3 meals and a bed. Okay, what I'm saying is the 3 meals does not overrule the indoctrination to make you be a part of something that you have no control over what it is that you do. Well, let me just back. Riggins, it's obvious, and I'm glad that I didn't now know what I know. It's obvious that you and I weren't military born, because I'm not following no order from nobody to tell me that I rightfully know that's wrong. I'm not doing it.
Right. Well, now what I was going to do is this. Remember Gulf War came in 1990 for 30 days? Mm-hmm. And they thought they was about to have the draft. I was graduating from college right then. I said, if I got to go, I'm going to take control of what I'm going to do. They're not going to draft me. I'm going to join the Air Force as a second lieutenant because I got a degree. I was going to minimize what kind of control they have over me. So my point of it is, if the system has to try to control you, if you're intelligent enough and strong-minded enough, you ought to be able to navigate it. Ron, you navigate it.
Pastor, I'm
you
going to tell you
it because you're strong-minded enough to navigate it.
I'm going to tell you like this,
Pastor. Some people come out there, they got PTSD. So I know some people right now, they mentally messed up. A lot of other stuff goes in the military. Mm-hmm. But if you're strong-minded enough, you know how to navigate it.
Ron,
they don't want to take care of them. And then, Pastor, you brought up another point. You said, if I went in the military, this is the way I would do it. And you know what the military would have told you? There's the door. Don't care if you're a second lieutenant. Don't care if they drafted you. They don't care.
No, I'm saying that before they drafted me, I was going to join. Before they drafted me, I was going to join the branch I wanted to join. And with a college degree, I can go to officer school immediately for second lieutenant.
That's great. You know how many second lieutenants? Let me share this with you. You know, when you're in ROTC and you're in college, and when you complete your college, you have to give them so much military time.
Yeah.
You know how many officers, lieutenants, they bust them down to E4s, and when they bust them down to E4s, they can't be promoted. They can't get a higher rank. They can't do anything. They're gonna ride the rest of their time out as in the military as an E4 because they didn't follow orders. But they owed the Army that time because the Army paid for their schooling. So they just in the unit, and you don't know that they didn't got busted down as an officer from an officer.
No, Ron, I'm saying that in those times were normal times. Now in abnormal times, that's the point. See, Donald Trump has created something that we're not used to.
He has.
You
And
can't
I'm
think
not
of no
disagreeing
other
with,
president that would give illegal orders.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Pastor. What I'm
Right, that's what I'm
saying,
saying.
these are
So in
different
real
times
time, in
of the
1990,
rules. The
in
rules of being in the
1990,
military.
I joined in the second
We can
lieutenant.
sing
It
together,
was
but we
nothing
can't
that,
talk together.
Yeah,
it's
I got
nothing
you.
that it's nothing that George H.W. Bush at that time would have told me that would have been illegal, I believe. There's nothing that Bill Clinton, if I'd have stayed in there, would have told me that's illegal. That was normal times.
Reagan's run. Can I read the qualification that Tyron sent as the Secretary of Defense is a civilian position intended to be independent of active duty leadership. A secretary is required to have been retired from service for at least 7 years, originally 10, unless a waiver is approved by Congress.
Right. So, Ron, you could have been one if Trump wanted you. You don't have to be a certain rank. All you had to do is serve so many years.
Well, he basically did. He basically did name Ron as a Secretary of Defense when he appointed Hank Smith. He don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He don't know what he's doing. I don't know why people give this man so much credit. He don't know what he's doing. Because you stand up there and make speeches in front of people don't mean that you know what you're doing. You can talk a good game all the time.
He's a Fox
You
News.
know something. I know everybody knows a person that can talk a good game, but when it comes time to doing it, they can't do it. They ain't over their head.
Right
They
now,
drown.
on MSNBC, he backtracks on involvement with the boat strikes. At first, he said he gave the order. Now he said, I didn't. The second order, I wasn't even around. Because he knows that's live. He knows
But that just goes to show you, Pastor, that that's how messed up the military is at this point. You say it's messed up from the top? Just think about what's going on at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's like them, like I'm gonna make an example of this. The top is all messed up at the bottom. They having a party at the club. They ain't even showing up to work. They're saying, I can't do nothing with this. They can't have that in the military. You just can't have that.
Let me tell you what all boo-boo goes downhill.
It does.
I almost used that safe word, but all boo-boo goes downhill.
But you know who at the bottom of the kitchen? Those lower enlisted members. They're at the bottom catching all that stuff.
Right.
No, and we had some bad commanders. It didn't go as high as the commander in chief, but I done had some bad commanders, man. I remember I had this commander one time. I'm gonna tell you how bad he was. I got assigned driving the car for him for a week. Do you know that this fool started throwing chicken bones in the floor? Like he would go buy food, just throw his shit in the floor and leave it there like it wasn't nothing. I said, how in the hell can you do this? So I asked the guy that I replaced for that week that was driving the car. He said, no, man, he do that all the time. I'm like, no, I'm good with this. I went back to work. I was glad to go back to work. I'm just telling you, he would throw any of his food in the floor. No wrapper, no nothing, and expect that car when he get in it the next morning to be clean.
Bro, that's a comment out there.
That's what he thought about.
It's a comment out there. It's a comment out there.
Trump and Haig are to blame. No passing the buck. Absolutely, Mary. Absolutely. That's the people we got to blame, Pastor. We can sit here and talk all day. But if Hank Smith was on that telephone call with that commander, telephone call, radio signal, satellite radio, satellite telephone, whatever signal that they use, smoke signals or whatever. If he was on the telephone with that commander, it's Hank Smith's fault because Hank Smith had the right to call the president of the United States. And if he didn't speak,
that's it. But no, they saying he lying now. Said after the first strike, I left and went and did something else. He know he lying. At first he was saying, I did it. They were wrong. They were drug lords.
Because he thought nobody gonna catch it.
When he started coming, he said, no, I didn't do it.
I got a comment that says Marine Corps is a cult for sure.
It is. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got my. Oh, here goes somebody else calling in. Let's get him in.
Sean.
Hey, come on in. We got
To
you.
accept, press 1.
Let me do my one. John.
Hey, you guys still on air?
Yeah, we're here.
Hey, great. So I think my connection came a little slow, but Baron had a couple questions after I hung up, and I'll call back in to answer those questions.
Come on, Byron.
And the first, okay, so the first question I heard was that he said, based on that, then why would anybody join the military? It's like a cult or something like that. I would say, and I agree with you, it absolutely is. When you leave Marine Corps, you you absolutely think that way. You absolutely, and that's probably what makes us dangerous, right? That is what makes the Marine Corps what they are. You are absolutely believing you're bulletproof, because I thought I was as well. When I got out of boot camp, there was coming, I forget which war it was in 99, 91, 92, what battle, whatever war it was. But I thought that I'm the guy that they need out there to help end this war, because I'm an expert shot. I was graduate school leader. I was what they needed, right? That's just the mindset you come up with the Marine Corps. And that's the mindset you need in the military, in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
At that case, that is why that's why I love the Marine Corps in general. And the second one was, I think I had two questions. What was it? What was the benefits behind it? And I agree with you again, Ron. When I got out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. In the absence of knowing what you want to do, under any other administration, I would absolutely recommend something like, I'm going to say Marine Corps, of course. Obviously, I'm going to say Marine Corps, because that's my branch. But why? Because it's going to give you training. What do you want to do? It's going to give you free education. And there's one thing, and then it's going to give you discipline, which is something I didn't have, not the kind of discipline I have right now, until after I left the Marine Corps. It gives you a strong work ethic. But one of the biggest things, the benefits, I'm still reaping benefits from the Marine Corps now that I'm out. Still reaping them right now. GI Bill, the VA eligibility certificate to buy your home. I can buy any house I want to as long as I can afford it, no money down. And I've been out since '97. So there are a lot of benefits to the military. Absolutely. Not under this administration, maybe. But there are a lot of benefits to it. So I thought I'd call in and try and answer the two questions I heard. Is there a third question I missed?
But so the benefit of coming out being mentally deranged and crazy.
I can't hear you if you're there.
No, I'm good. Byron's saying something. You might want to listen to your computer and answer his question, and then get back on the phone.
So the benefit of being, Ron, you may have to read this. So Riggins, the benefit of going in, coming out mentally deranged, PTSD, crazy as hell, that supersedes.
Hold on, Sean.
Riggins, read it out for me, man.
Yeah, he's saying the benefits of the mental, how it impacts you mentally, and PTSD and all that stuff. Of these benefits outweigh that. Now, I will say this,
Pastor. Let me see if I still got Sean. Sean, can you hear me? You can hear me? Okay.
My son in the ministry, a pastor is up under me. He served in the Marines, and he served in the National Guard all the way up through like 2012. And he's a pretty solid guy, but he would tell you.
You all right? I'm good. I'm trying to figure it out.
He would tell you that they make you a fighting machine while you're in there. Now, when he got out, he had to build himself up spiritually, learning how to apply everything he learned discipline-wise, and raising 4 boys, his sons, was one thing. But if he would have let what he went through impact him, he could have came out, like you say, mentally deranged, PTSD. Now, some things you go through when you're military health-wise, being on the sands of Kuwait affected, him in a certain way, stuff like that, health-wise. But there's always a trade-off for the military. Everything Sean is saying, he knows he keeps saying one thing: not under this administration. He said everything worked good, but not under this administration, and that's what I'm dealing with about.
Which is the question that I asked. Would you recommend anybody to go to the military right now, knowing what you're knowing and saying?
No, sir, not right now.
That's been my point from day one.
Let me kind of interject on that a little bit. I wouldn't say I wouldn't recommend, because some people.
You follow Trump run.
You're talking out of both
tongues
now.
I say that because, Byron, you say something earlier, and this is what you say: You sell a jailhouse off for 3 cots and three meals in a cot.
Right.
You know, if it's a choice between 3 meals in a cot in jail or 3 meals in a cot in the military, I'm gonna advise that person to go to the military. And here, you know, I've been talking about this, but my dad was in the military. His dad was in the military. My daughter was in the military. My granddaughter's in the National Guard right now. So I got generations of people that's in the military right now. So if that's the best that you can do, rather than going to stick a gun to somebody's head and end up in jail for 10 to 20 years, I'm gonna tell you, I'd rather
You
you go in the military.
Ron, you come out doing the same thing that you're saying not to do. You got multiple people, many people that go graduate from high school that are perfectly fine. 2 or 3 years they come back, they crazy as hell, and they still get no benefits. Negroes went and served in the war. They came back and they still was not acknowledged. I would never recommend, knowing what I know now, somebody go to the military because I'm setting them up for failure. That's not the only option that's out there. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I would say
I'm a disagree with you on that one.
I'm in between.
It's a choice.
I've had uncles and cousins and all of them served in the military, and they came out all right.
Mm-hmm.
But under
I'm
Trump,
all right.
no.
I hope y'all think I'm all right.
Trump. Up under Trump, I cannot do it.
Hey, Riggin, for everyone that came out right, I can show you one that came out wrong.
I know you can.
I know a guy that was in my hometown, Ron, was a genius. He's one of 3 people that I have ever met that I would call a genius. Graduated with honors, valedictorian, got an engineering degree. Graduated from Southern University. Went to the military, came back crazy as hell, so they thought. Every time he went to jail, he went to court, he got himself out because he knew, but he always say, he used to call me Badoon. He would say, Badoon, don't never spend your time letting a man change who you are, who God made you to be. Don't ever go to the military.
And that's a true statement. If you can't handle it, if you can't follow orders in civilian life, it might not be for you. If you feel like
I just can't follow illegal orders.
Huh?
I can follow orders, I just can't follow illegal orders.
Well, if you're the one that's determined it, let me just say, you might not want to go in the
Hey,
military.
Ron, we just need to send Pastor Riggins over there and let him pray then.
They got pastors in the military.
They do have pastors and everything in there.
They don't have Riggins though.
They got gospel, CGI, CG, whatever you want to call it. They got all them pastors with all them denominations and everything in the military. So
yeah, but first thing that happens though, they already been conditioned. What are you trying to say? Send me over there unconditioned. Send me over there. I haven't been through the basic training. They haven't cultivated my mind. Well, they can tell me what to do, and I'm not gonna let them cultivate my mind. Tell me what to do. Yeah, but
so we're coming up on time, Pastor.
So Riggins.
Yes, sir.
You got a student that's struggling in your class right now. He's a 12th grade senior. Your only option that you're gonna tell him, the only option you're gonna tell him is join the military.
No, I said not right now, not with Trump.
Oh, okay, all right.
Now, let me share something with you, Byron Glass.
Ron, you got a little young man in the neighborhood. He comes to you, he's struggling. The only option you're gonna tell him is the military, right?
If that's all that's available, I'm gonna tell him to go join the military. Because he's gonna be so far down the list that it ain't gonna even matter. Because when he joined the military, if he mess up and once he joined the military, they're gonna kick him out. They ain't taking no prisoners these days. It's a little bit different. See, my father was a recruiter when I was young. And I'm gonna tell you, Byron, I agree with you. Some of them people are smart as whips when they go in, but when they come out, they crazy as hell. And the part that I don't understand, out of all the people that Trump can mess with, he better not. He shouldn't mess with veterans that's been in the military. Mary got a question out here, Byron. Go ahead and take it.
I can't see
right,
it.
so
I'm gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
Trump.
But, we talking about Somalian because but that's all race-based stuff. He doing that stuff for distraction. You always
You
talking
heard you
about
talking about, you heard you talking about what is it, deporting that lady?
yeah, I know, right? The congresswoman.
Yeah.
Because that's all get MAGA stirred up. Because he wait for
here's
that other shoe to drop Epstein files.
but
He
here's my
want them all to
rebuttal.
be on his side when the Epstein files drop.
Riggins, here's my rebuttal. They have a tendency to always group everybody into one, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if the American Negro said, since your forefathers were slave masters and slave owners, does that make you one?
Yeah.
But that's not how we think. Because we believe in giving everybody the opportunity and the chance to prove themselves worthy, right?
Right.
So this thesis about grouping all people in, I don't understand. Again, Dems don't give no pushback. They don't come back with no rebuttal. Ron, again, my issue, 2026 of November, this time next year, if we don't put the pedal to the metal, the foot to the gas, and don't let up, it's over with.
Let me say something else. Don't fool yourself about Nigeria and Venezuela. It's not about Christians dying in Nigeria. It's not about drug laws in Venezuela. Here's what it's about. They're two of the greatest oil deposits in the world. Let me say it again. It's not about Muslims killing Christians in Nigeria. It's not about drug laws in Venezuela. It's about OIL in both of those countries.
And I'm gonna bring up another point about that too.
By oil.
There, speaking of oil, the U.S. is concerned about them changing how they buy oil. You know, for years, the only way that you could buy oil around the world was you had to use U.S. currency. Well, they're changing that, and that might be something we have to talk about on the next show because that's important because that's how we survived so long at the top. Was that we made everybody use those U.S. dollars. Well, now they're talking about they're not going to do it. It's the same thing that Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein tried to do a long time ago. They was going to create their own currency by stockpiling gold and dollars. But both of them ended up getting killed. So,
you know, Gaddafi was on our side, man.
I know.
Yeah, but they act like he was evil.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And let me tell you something else. Saddam Hussein was on the side with the Iran-Contra scandal. The Iran, with the hostages, when Jimmy Carter was in there and they had them hostages, and they held them until Reagan became president, Saddam Hussein was on our side. When we could control him no more, and when he got to mess with Kuwait, which was his son-in-law, we decided to go over there. We went over there, all those mansions, all those palaces had all kind of American stuff in there. Michael Jordan on the wall, Michael Jackson, everything. He was on our side until we couldn't control him no more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but when Saddam was in existence, there was no ISIS.
Yeah.
But here, I'm gonna say this again. Y'all heard me say this before, so I'm gonna tell you. I remember being in Shape, Belgium on duty, driving for a Turkish commander. And when the Saddam Hussein helicopter landed, you would have thought it was the second coming of Jesus. Because all the Americans and everybody was flocking to that helicopter for Saddam Hussein. The next time I heard about Saddam Hussein, he was dead. They went over there and killed him. So I'm going to tell you, America changes.
Manuel Noriega met with King.
Yeah, America changes. They'll drop you in the heartbeat. It's a bigger picture out there. And Mary, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But we got all Bitcoin is another thing that we all should be up in arms because it's so much going on. But here's why I say get back to our point. Democrats can't assume victory based on everything that's going on out there right now. Democrats can't assume victory because it's too much. It's too much time between the midterm vote and Pastor Reagan's drop. It's too much time between the midterm elections. But we need to keep our feet on the what, Byron?
On the gas.
On the gas.
I was just about to tell Riggins is 1 minute. I mean, an hour and 28 minutes. We got about 2 minutes left, and let him do his. I'm assuming he's gonna try to pop back on.
I was hoping he was.
Yeah. I hope his battery didn't go dead or nothing like that.
It may have, but you know what? We're not going to drag. Mary, thank you for your question. To our listeners that's out there, all from everywhere, I just want to say thank you. We appreciate you. Don't ever think that we don't appreciate you. And I appreciate the input from Tyrone and Sean. They really tied into our show. And I got some advice for my two fellow people over here, the Mike and the other gent. Y'all wouldn't have made it in the military. Y'all are not military material.
That's probably
Y'all
the
are
truth.
not military material. So we gonna let that be known. But for everybody else that's out there, I want to tell you we really appreciate it. We do this show on Tuesdays at 7:30. You don't see all that stuff going around the screen talking about donate here and donate there and donate there, donate here, donate over there. And then by the time we get off, we don't bring up another person talking about donate here. We do this at our own time. So that's the reason why, see, I'm sorry. Pastor Riggins back. We're gonna have to get him to close us out. I was gonna do it, but Pastor back now.
My laptop froze.
That's all right. We only bring you on to do one thing, Pastor. Close us out.
There you go. Here,
I don't think he on, is it?
Yes, he there. You not on.
I don't see. Oh, there you go.
Now I see.
Yeah.
We only brought you on to do one thing, Pastor. You can say whatever you want to say, but close us out in the end, and we're gonna get off this thing.
Let me tell you what, though.
He can't hear you.
It's been a very interesting show tonight.
He can't hear you, Ron.
To go back to the topic, though. The topic said we should not.
Ron, we can't hear him.
You can't hear him? I can hear him.
I can't.
Open your ears up, Baron Glass. I can hear you. Can you hear me, Ron? I hear you.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Well, I can't hear him.
I don't know, Ron. I mean, I don't know, Baron.
Put your hands up and say a prayer. Byron ain't military material, so they probably cut him out of the show.
Can you hear me now, Baron?
I can't hear him.
I can hear you every word you say, Pastor. I just can't hear.
I can't hear.
I can hear Glass too.
I hear Glass too.
Yeah, I can hear Glass.
I can't hear Riggins.
Only thing he's saying is I can't hear Riggins. I can't hear Riggins. I can't hear Riggins.
You keep saying I can't hear Riggins.
Mary say I hear him.
Well, proceed.
So, Pastor, put your hands together. Let Byron know that you're praying, and we're gonna get out of here. Byron didn't even give us nooses. He just left.
He might be trying to read. He might be trying to come back in to see why he can't hear me. You need.
Come on,
prayer.
Pastor.
We all need prayer. Hey, look here. Let me tell you what. So, listen to this point. We can't assume victory. We have to stay with our hand to the plow. There's a scripture that says, "No man put his hand to the plow and look back." Can you hear me now, Baron Glass?
Yes, sir.
All right, it was on your side, brother. Look here. There's a scripture that says, "No man puts his hand to the plow and look back." If you put your hand to the plow and turn around and look back, you're not fit for the kingdom, which means that we can't start this thing about we're going to take control in 2026 and we let off the gas or we assume victory. All of these various complex and diverse issues that we talked about tonight all are woven into a very dangerous America that we're in right now. But God is still in control.
Always.
God is still in control. And so we thank him for the opportunity that we have the liberty to voice our opinions, our concerns. We also have the ability to discuss and to promote and elevate and motivate. Let me say it again. Promote, elevate, and motivate other people to get involved and to vote, because it really matters. We thank God for this platform. We leave this platform but not his presence. In the name of Jesus,
in the yard.
amen.
Amen. Was that your prayer, Pastor? Because you didn't, evidently you didn't start it, and I didn't hear you started, but if that was your prayer, I'm good with it.
No, well, I started statement and statement turned into a prayer. But if you want me to say, Father, I thank you for the opportunity us to be able to promote, elevate, and motivate others. We thank you for this platform we have. I thank you for my brothers, Baron Glass and Ron Spikes, two gents. I thank you for giving me the mic and giving all of us the opportunity to share. We leave this platform without your presence. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Very glad you're crazy.
That's our mic. That's our mic, and that's Baron Glass out there. Come on, Baron, say what you're gonna say, so we can get out of here.
He doing a peace sign.
Deuces, man. Hey, man, it's been a long day for me. I've been running since 7:30 this morning. When I said
Okay, let me get off the air, Byron. Hold up just a minute. Let me get off the air. I want to say thank God for everybody that's out there. Baron Glass and Pastor Riggins have an everyday job that they do. Pastor Riggins will be on tomorrow for his Bible study. So please go out and join Pastor Riggins for his Bible study. Pastor, give him the information so we can get out of here.
Oh, yes. You can catch you on Bible study on 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live. It's at Aquila Fennell Riggins.
Aquila.
Aquila Fennell Riggins. That's my name.
Aquila.
Bishop A.F. Riggins. And,
Hey, we're going to go with, let me tell y'all.
He said that, Barry.
Yeah, Baron said that. Baron the one who said
been doing that stuff since
around the Christmas tree.
Barry been doing that since
Aquila.
1989. He crazy. He been doing my name since 1989. Hey, you know, hey, look here. You know, when a kid get real tired and they don't want to sleep, they start acting a fool. That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, that's right.
7 years
We're
old.
gonna get out of here. Let me get you back on track and get us out of here.
Yeah, so you can come and watch the Bible study, and we're studying the book of Ecclesiastes right now.
What y'all studying? The book of what, Pastor?
Ecclesiastes.
Okay, all right. Y'all go out and join Pastor Riggins tomorrow night. He'll be on, and I guarantee you'll learn something, because he knows the Bible front, back, forward, up, down, sideways, and every which way you can come up. You say something about the Bible, he gonna tie a verse to whatever you say. So that's Pastor Riggins. Now that Byron Glass over there, he ain't military material.
Byron Glass, you something else, boy.
He gonna be out of here. Out.